Good morning and happy April Fool's Day. Welcome to Stylist from the Break Room. I'm your longtime host, Dominic, with my special guest, Eddie, over here.
Thank you for having me today, Dom.
My pleasure. The check cleared.
Oh my God. We're having a little bit of silliness this week, and because April Fool's is April Fool's, and it is awesomeness.
Yes.
So we're doing a quick announcement. May 19th, the Ultimate CE Hours event on May 19th is currently sold out. So we appreciate everybody's interest in our program, in our class. We are currently having a waiting list. We're working on a third date. We're trying to go for June, what is that, 16th, I think is that Monday. So it's not confirmed just yet. We're still in the negotiation phase to set up that third date. So if that's something you're interested in and you didn't have your schedule yet and you wasn't sure and you're not available or we're not available for May for you anymore, get on our waiting list. You don't know. Maybe somebody reschedules or cancels. We've had that happen in the March one a couple of times, and we were able to fill in those spots last minute. So get on the waiting list, go to htbbeauty.com, and we'll go from there. For everybody else that we're looking forward to, we're going to be talking about May 19th today for a little bit, so that's going to be fun. As far as April Fools go, I just, you know I love my shenanigans. So I got a quiz, and I don't know what I did to it. Let me pull it up here real quick. La 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 la. Whoa. All right. I'm going to give you some multiple choice.
Okay.
These are very serious questions.
I bet. You didn't tell me I had to study for the ACT.
What do you think you're going to score?
I believe I had a 33 back in the day, so I still should hold my own.
Oh, boy. All right. All right. Well, these are challenging. These are challenging. Here we go. What is the most effective way to grow 6 inches of hair overnight? Is it moonlight and mayonnaise, whispering affirmations to your scalp, drinking 3 gallons of coconut water, or clip-in hair extensions?
I would think the coconut water would give you the runs from your colon.
What? You've never tried to pound down 3 gallons?
not of coconut water. I would say, I'd say the hair extensions.
Hair extensions is the answer. Although I do like the idea of moonlight and mayonnaise.
I do like the affirmations idea because I am pretty zen.
Sweet nothings. All right. And this is how the quiz is going to go, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if you don't shampoo during a full moon? Your hair turns into dreadlocks overnight. You gain magical hair powers. Nothing, but your stylist might raise an eyebrow, or the shampoo bottle will vanish.
I'll say nothing, but the dreadlocks is very, very, I would dig that, but I think I still have a ways to go. But yeah, I'd say nothing.
But it's a full moon, man. Did you get the magical unicorn powers or something?
You'd have to grind the unicorn horn into dust, I think.
I can't even when I made these questions. Which of the following will not help repair split ends? A trim, a deep conditioning, unicorn tears, or binding them back together with love and hope?
Unicorn tears.
How
do you make a unicorn cry? That is the question.
I don't know. I've never made your sister cry, so I don't know what a unicorn would look like.
What? You didn't grow up with her.
All right. Have you made your sister cry?
So what? No. She's not all rainbows. And when we were kids, she used to stuff carrot sticks up my nose.
Late introduction, but for those of you who don't already know Dom is Carmelina's brother. And Carmelina, all of you that do know, I talk about her all the time, is my wife. And I adore her to pieces. But the running joke in the family is I married her so I could be related to Dom because Dom is that awesome. I gained a brother in all of this. That's my biggest takeaway of marriage is I got a brother out of it.
But I kid. No. Carm's great. She's a sweetheart.
She is.
She has her loud moments, but she's a sweetheart.
So then, all right, then let's go back through this again. Which of the following will not help repair split ends? A trim? Oh, no, you said unicorn tears, right?
Yes, unicorn tears.
Yeah, unicorn tears. Yeah. Yeah, a trim really is... That is the only way to fix split ends, unfortunately. I have had clients tell me binding them back together with love and hope is a thing. And
I'm sure you have.
You can't will things into existence. They're sitting there going, "Oh,
just glue them back." Like, no.
What would be a logical reason why your flat iron isn't working? Is it because Mercury is in retrograde? Is it because you didn't manifest smooth hair hard enough? Is it because it's not plugged in? Or is it because of the ghost of frizz past?
I say you could theoretically make an argument for all four. But considering it's you, it's probably not plugged in or turned on like that one incident you had. You were like, why isn't this working? And I'm like, did you turn it on? And you said, what do you think, I'm a moron? Oh, crap.
I had to make fun of myself.
I know. That was pretty funny.
What is Mercury in retrograde? What is that a reference to? Do you even know what that means?
In the spiritual world, all the planets have their elliptical movements. And when a planet backtrack, all planets have a retrograde movement, but the Mercury one is infamous because things tend to get chaotic when Mercury is in retrograde. Ooh. So, like, I think most of the time, allegedly during Mercury retrograde, like the average instances of car accidents rise. Technical issues, you'll have glitches on your phone, texts won't go through, it's like a communication issue.
Whoa, so there is something to it, like the full moon and all that crazy.
Yes, all planets go through a retrograde phase. Mercury typically does it like 2 or 3 times a year for like 3-4 week periods.
Damn, Mercury.
So yes, in the spiritual world, Mercury retrograde is a very popular thing.
Okay. What about the ghosts of frizz past? I thought that was clever. I got to try.
Oliver Twist? No, you were doing A Christmas Carol.
I was trying.
Okay.
It landed short. Wah, wah, wah. All right. What is the best way to guarantee volume at the root? Is it hanging upside down for 10 minutes? Is it yelling volume into mirror? Is it backcombing? Or is it having your ex see you unexpectedly?
I'll say backcombing, but I'm sure having your ex seeing you unexpectedly would get a rise out of the roots.
Well, that's a real hair raiser. I'm not going to quit my day job. I'll be here all week. But all right. This is what we're doing. If your hairstylist starts dancing mid blowout, it means you're about to get the best hair of your life. They saw a spider, the round brush is stuck, or the power of Beyonce possesses them?
You could switch it to Taylor Swift, according to some people we know. But
All right, fine. Excuse me, future daughter of the mayor.
but or to do the answers again. I was thinking of a joke and I lost my place.
I got you. So in a blowout is a blow dry, right? So like if you're in the middle of getting your hair done by your hairdresser, and if they just start in the middle of doing your hair, they just start dancing. Are you about to get the best service of your life? Did they just saw a spider? Is the brush or the tool stuck in your hair? Or does the power of Taylor Swift possess them?
I'll say the tool is stuck in their hair.
And you just think they're doing this, but they're actually trying to get the thing out.
When I had my long hair, that would happen. Everything would get stuck in your hair.
Oh, man, that would suck. That actually, you know what? Next time I get a tool stuck in a client's hair, instead of sitting there and making faces and being all serious about it, trying to be delicate, I'm just going to bust out some dance moves and make it
dance all night, dance a little longer.
You know, no. If a stylist starts dancing mid service, they're in their zone. You're about to get some really good hair. You're about to.
They're not having a seizure. Okay, that's good to know.
No, they're not having a seizure.
That's good to know.
Doing the Carlton. And if it's your sister, then she did see a spider.
Oh my God, we used to call her radar. If there's a spider, ladies and gentlemen, if there's a spider within a 15-mile radius, anywhere she is in the world, she will know.
Oh, yeah.
And she will let you know about it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
She will let you hear about it. Any spider, tick, flea, molecule, morsel, molecular structure of any insect.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know. I'm on 24-hour duty over here.
You're like, hang on, let me get it.
All right, this is a tough one.
Okay.
What's the scientifically proven best deep conditioner scent? I know you like your scents.
Mm-hmm.
Is it lavender and silk? Excuse me. Is it coconut and dandelions? Is it toasted marshmallows and manifesting? Or is it whatever your crush likes?
I'll say B, although I do dig the marshmallows.
You're going with coconuts and dandelions.
Sure. Unless you're hypoallergenic, then you're screwed.
Then you're screwed.
Lavender is known to be pretty calming.
What does
I guess I'll go with the lavender.
Smell like? Does that smell good? Do those even smell good?
You know what? I don't think I've ever come across a scent with a dandelion note. I've come across like gunpowder notes, cocaine notes. I don't know how they get the cocaine notes. They have a lot of alcohol notes, colognes, which is like, yeah, you get pulled over. Yeah, officer, it's my cologne. I swear. I have a whiskey cologne base on. I'm not drunk.
I'm going to have to find you a dandelion. You're going to have to do a sniff test for me. We'll see. But at the end of the day, it's that you probably are correct. But at the end of the day, if your significant other likes it, that's the scent you're wearing. That's
yeah, they'll control you.
They'll control you. You may not even like it, but you know what? If you're getting attention.
Does she control your sense?
No, you do.
I know I have picked out some. I've been, well, some of them you're like, I refuse to wear this because people just mob me.
I get it. That the one that you got me was an awesome one, but man, I kept getting attacked. I kept getting it was weird. People kept sniffing me. It was
I've
just
made good choices. I should be a pro shopper for people.
you'd be an awesome pro shopper for people. You put together some really cool stuff, man. It's awesome.
Oh. And ladies and gentlemen, I take commissions. P.O. Box 30. No, send your letters to.
Yeah, send
I
in
gotta collect the
send in
P.O.
your
box now.
request to htbbeauty.com, and I'll facilitate it for you. I'll play secretary, Dom. Which of these should not be used as a dry shampoo? Baby powder, cocoa powder, Parmesan, or cornstarch?
First of all, the way how you say Parmesan is priceless.
Okay.
Cornstarch reminds me when I used to be on the wrestling team, it'd be all starchy to roll up the mats. So I have bad memories with cornstarch.
Okay, fair enough.
Cocoa powder reminds me of the singer Aaron Neville when he would be cocoa butter. And baby powder. I'll say cocoa powder because if it goes wrong, you can still enjoy it.
So you're down
residual.
sprinkling cheese on your head, huh?
Parmesan, the residual could be. I don't know. I think cocoa. I think cocoa would be a better residual than.
Bro, you can have cheese in your hair walking around fermenting, and then somebody's gonna say, "Oh, who cut the cheese?" After an hour. They're gonna be like it's your head.
Especially on a sunny day, you'll definitely have a sillage of Parmesan. What'd you say? Parmesan?
I can't pronounce it. Because I do to your sister all the time when we're at the grocery. I go,
well, she's a huge dry shampoo fan.
Yeah, she is. But I'll go like, Parmigiani. Can you grab the Parmigiani? And she just looks at me. She's like, you're never going to be able to say it, are you? I'm like, I can't.
Oh, you really want to annoy her? Call ricotta cheese ricotta, and she will flip out.
I was listening to somebody with an accent, like heavier than mine, and they were trying to say, tortellini, but they were calling it tortilla, tortilli. They were saying tortilli. They couldn't say tortellini.
Was my sister in the room with them too?
Yeah, she's sitting there.
She flipped out. Oh yeah,
she's like, "What is he saying?" I'm like, I'm sitting there. I'm like listening some more.
That's typical. That's textbook Carm. She'll be like, "What?"
It was messing her up so bad. So yeah, baby powder traditionally, talcum powder and baby powder have been like the traditional dry shampoos, especially because we used to dust them on before they came in aerosol sprays and things like that. Cocoa powder, cocoa is actually used a lot in beauty care. So cocoa powder is something that could be used too. It's generally used on more denser hair types, more curlier, like your sister level curl and curly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's cocoa powder is it's more gentle than talcum powder and baby powder. Like it's lighter in that sense. And cocoa has some restorative properties that go with the hair too, whereas talcum and baby powder are just a little bit more aggressive. They're more drying, right? Cornstarch is actually one of those kitchen hacks back in the day before we had dry shampoos. So we should do a thing. We should do a whole episode of just all these kitchen hacks, all these things that people go and make their hair out of a tossed salad, using all their kitchen products. But cornstarch was definitely a thing. The cheese, though, there is no type of cheese out there that should be sprinkled onto the head.
Disclaimer, folks, do not put cheese in your hair.
Yeah, that's bad. That'd be really bad. Man, when John gets back next week, I'm gonna ask him about what if you put cheese in your hair and then flat ironed it in? Would that be string cheese? Like, could that count?
Oh, that would, oh, that's a bad image.
That's a bad image, right?
That's a bad image.
What happens when you use 12 different styling products all at once? Do you ascend to the hair goddess level? Do you get stuck to your car seat? Do you start defying gravity? Or does your hair start its own Instagram account?
I believe you're, well, first and foremost, your hair becomes more lucid than Kevlar. You'll be bulletproof. Probably would become its own entity and have its own Instagram account.
A lot of products, man. Could you imagine?
I can't imagine putting all.
You know where I got this question from? I was thinking of, was it Coming to America, the Soul Glow? Where they get stuck in the back of the sofa and then they get up and there's an oil slick in the back of the sofa.
Oh, that might have been that. It's been a minute since I've seen that.
Yeah. I was thinking about that one. You'd be a hot, sticky mess, man. You'd get stuck to the seat.
Ooh, yeah, that's.
Yeah. Do not. Ideally, if now here's a crazy thing: shampoo and conditioner is each counted as a product as well too in your daily hair care routine. So right off the bat, you're already 2 deep. And then if you put in a leave-in when you get out the shower, that's 3.
I do every other day, so
a couple of products and stuff. You can easily get up to like 5 to 7 products. So, it's wild, but getting up to 12, like some people go overload on their hair, man, and it is wild. All right. Last question. What's the real reason your curls don't last all day? Is it because the weather hates you? Is it because you didn't bribe your stylist with coffee? Is it because you forgot the setting spray? Or is it because your curls have unionized and they've gone on break?
I used to have long waves, and those union meetings were terrible. Probably no setting spray. I've never used a setting spray, but I'm sure you would have to set them if I were to have curls. I never had curls. I used to have long waves when I had hair, so I don't think I needed a setting spray at that time.
Yeah. I know your sister always laughs. Your sister always makes me laugh. Carmelina's like, "Oh, the weather is gonna suck today. My curls are gonna suck." I'm like, "No."
Well, yeah, weather, yeah, definitely. I'm sure has a huge factor.
It aggravates the issue if you haven't. You were right. If you don't set your hair first, it completely goes downhill from there. So if you set it properly to begin with, you'll be fine. It doesn't matter what the weather is going to be. You'll be fine. But yeah, I always get a little chuckle when she looks up the weather on her phone and she's like, "Ah, today's going to be rough."
Yeah, she's going to be a big afro puff.
Little bit of fun, a little bit of tomfoolery, but how'd you like those? Those were custom tailored to you.
Yes, I knew you were getting your jabs in, stuffing the turkey.
Now, May 19th. So you were with us in March when we did our credit hour, CE hours event, continuing education hours. So that was the first one of that kind of an event that you've been to. You've been to other events that we've been to as well, too.
Right?
But I think that's the heaviest education event that you've attended. So now we're going to do the same thing in May. We're going to have another one. I'm going to change up the format a little bit, just like you've seen me at the hair show. Even though we were doing like every other hour, we were doing another class. I constantly was changing the format all the time, right? Mm-hmm. But give a little preview as to what they can expect to see coming up in May.
Well, typically what you and John do, you're very interactive, obviously. You're going to go through all the products, the product lines. You'll review the Xenogen. You'll go through the scientific facts of it. You'll go through the makeup of it. Well, a lot of open discussions. So it's always fun because you got a lot of these people when they come in. I love hearing from people because a lot of people always come up with questions you would never think of, but it's always good. A lot of doozies of questions, which is always fun to, I don't know, maybe they want to like, let's stump Eddie, and you always have an answer for.
Oh no, it's not a stump. Those are questions. Unfortunately, some of those questions are questions. That's a thing.
I know. I mean,
wish it
I don't do hair, but I'm sure there's always, people have had weird situations where they have to tell you, and you've been around the block a few decades, so you're like, I know what you mean.
Yeah. What's worse? Is it that I have an answer for their insanity, or the fact that they're even coming up with the insanity to begin with these questions?
Probably worse that you went through that 20 years ago.
It's wild.
You discovered that 20 years ago. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I've been there, done that. I got the t-shirt. All I got is this lousy t-shirt, But that's the cool thing about these education events. It's the fact that we do get to interact with people. It's the fact that they do get to ask these questions. And I'm making light of it, but yeah, some of these questions are out there, man. But the fact that we can answer them and bring everybody together in on it. I love it when the room starts laughing. I love it when I say something so off base and everybody's laughing about it, because it is literally doing the class program to me is literally like the podcast. It's like being a stylist in the break room, in the back room with everybody and just hanging out, talking about, problems that we're having with clients, and that sharing of knowledge and passing along that information, it's absolutely wonderful. So, and man, I tell you, it's a long day, but did it feel like 7 hours? Because to me, it felt like it went by really quick.
No, it's a good flow. It was a smooth flow. I think a lot of the comments I saw as people were leaving were like, "Oh my God, it's already been 7-8 hours."
Yeah. That's the other thing about it. And that's the whole reason why we change our format constantly all the time too. So you're not seeing the same show every single time. Even if you come back and repeat, you're going to get something different out of it each and every time. And that's the beauty of it, because otherwise I might as well just pre-record myself and like we used to do in school, the teacher would just bring a TV up to the front, play the tape, and then, everybody take a nap. We've seen this video 10 times already.
Well, usually that would mean it's magic school bus time.
It was right.
Your teacher was hungover. Mrs. Frizzle had a rough day last night at the bar. Here, you just watch this, and she'd be. Of course, as a kid, you don't realize. Now, as an adult, when you look back, you're like, "Oh my God, my teacher was a junkie."
We had a lot of TV days. We had a lot of self-study TV days.
My teacher was a freak.
So yeah, so that's how that one goes. All right. So that's a little preview of what's to come. That's going to be fun. I want to talk about, I just did a Xenogen class yesterday, an in-salon education class yesterday. And it is always fascinating to me how somebody who's been using it versus somebody who's first introduced to it, the levels of excitement are different, but still equally just as exciting. And I always find that fascinating. I love making my little observations and stuff like that. For those of you that don't know, Xenogen is a product line that helps to reduce inflammation onto the scalp, create a healthier environment to promote better hair growth, whether it's new hair growth, whether it's faster hair growth, or whether it's restoring natural pigment back to the hair. There's a variety of different treatments that Xenogen offers. Okay, those are the 3 primary treatments that Xenogen offers. They also have a bunch of other products as well too. And each one of their products, as they've come out with it and as I've been playing with it over the years, progressively, like each one just outdoes its the last one. And it's weird to say like this is my favorite one, because then the next one that comes out becomes my favorite one. Then the next one that comes out becomes my favorite one. It's just a home run after a home run after a home run. It's awesome. So I've been using it for a long time, but when I first introduced it to you, this is what got me on this thinking was, man, it really doesn't matter at what level of usage you're at. It really, the excitement levels are equally all the same. So share with us your experience, I guess, if you will, about the Xenogen products that I've introduced you to over the years.
So yeah, you've had me on the Xenogen, the shampoo and conditioner, because my hair was kind of thinning and I was, the typical male pattern baldness was developing on me. So yeah, you were telling me about the Xenogen, and then would you like to try it? So I said, yeah, sure. And you know what? Over time and stuff, it's really not that bad. Some people like freak out because you gotta leave it on for 5 minutes, and like it's really not that bad. And yeah, I've been using it, and it actually has restored a lot of my hair. And it does. I mean, I already had fast growing hair, but yeah, now whenever you give me haircuts, it just piles of, like, my hair grows like a weed
I think
because
we
of
have
the
to sweep
Xenogen.
3 times now. We used to sweep like 1.5 times. Now we're sweeping like 3 times. It's wild, the amount of hair that
Yeah,
we're.
the Xenogen really helped my hair a lot. And then I think I think you gave me the sneak peek of the beard oil before they officially launched it.
Mhm.
And every so often I use the beard oil, which is actually pretty nice.
That beard oil, how does that describe to like in general, if you had to categorize it, where would you put it at? Like, for example, some are more treatment, some are more for styling, some are more for restoring and refreshing.
Let's see. I think style wise, it's more of it kind of treats, it moisturizes your beard. I guess in a way it kind of can help. I mean, I guess if it's longer and a finer beard, I guess it could make it more manageable to style, but I would say it's kind of, yeah, it absorbs well into your skin and into your hair. Uh
That's something I like about it, is that it does absorb. All of their products are water soluble, so it does
mhm.
absorb, and it's really nice because with that absorption, it doesn't leave it looking still wet, or I guess I hate using the word greasy. Everybody uses the word greasy.
Yeah, that's
There's so many better ways of describing it, you know. Um, if 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 you have a longer beard, or if you have a bushier beard, it'll help tame that down so it's not blowing up on you. Like, especially when you had yours longer, you had a full beard at one point. You
mhm.
know, it just helps tame. Yeah, taming is a good word. It helps tame everything down and calm everything down, you know. And when you're putting it through, it does just feel good afterwards. Especially after a shave, you know, I'll use the beard oil afterwards, and it's really nice. For the rest of the face, I know this is probably not the right use for it, but have you tried the scalp serum? I did give you the scalp serum at one point, didn't I?
You have. I haven't in a while. I haven't done it, but
That scalp serum, I know it's probably not for the. It's not like an aftershave lotion. That's not its intention. But any irritation or inflammation that you have on anywhere on your scalp, that scalp serum is really wonderful for calming down irritation and inflammation. You know, so I definitely like playing with it in that regards. The It's funny that you said that about the shampoo treatments. So I gave you the Revolve.
mhm.
So the Revolve is designed to help promote new hair growth, you know, and obviously maintain the scalp and make everything calmer and healthier. It is such an interesting thing when people are like, 5 minutes? I gotta spend 5 minutes sitting around. What am I gonna do? And it's like, you know what? Just for a timeout, just to completely check out and stand there under the water for a couple of minutes and just let it hit you in the face, or turn up the water pressure and turn up the heat a little bit and turn around and just let it hit you on your back. Like if we can't afford 5 minutes of peace and quiet just to ourselves, like God bless, man. And that's a rough day. You already starting off having a rough day if you can't even start your day in peace and quiet, And it's funny because a lot of people are like, I'd rather just sleep for 5 minutes. It's like, would you though? Can you though? Are you able to though? I'd rather sleep standing up in the shower, having the water hit me than have laying down. I don't know. Everybody's gonna be a little bit different. But yeah, that 5 minutes goes by way quicker than you realize. By the time you get into the routine of doing everything else, it goes by really, really quick. That scalp serum, I mean, it takes 10 seconds to massage that in wherever you need it. So that's really like a spot
And it
treatment.
does dry pretty quickly too.
I mean, that's the difference between serum and oil. An oil is designed to be heavier, to lubricate, and to sit. So you don't want to be dousing yourself with it, but at the same time, it will absorb in. It takes longer for an oil-based product to dry up. Serum has a natural drying agent built into it. It's more for internal hydration. That's really the biggest difference. Serums are designed for more internal hydration. Oils are designed more for external hydration, primarily. They still do a little bit of both, but that's primarily their purposes. So that's the cool thing about it. The foam mousse, like especially talking about setting for curls, Carmelina will always do a couple of pumps of the foam mousse, and she'll put that through. She'll diffuse her hair. It's awesome because she doesn't like the scrunchy crunchy, like I guess she used to back in the day, but nowadays she likes her hair a little more softer with movement, So it's that foam is lightweight enough where it's not scrunchy, but it's still strong enough to set the hair into the style that you want. So that's really, really nice. Have you tried the puck? The texture paste, the pomade?
Oh yeah, I use the pomade all the time.
Yeah, I love the pomade. So what's been your experience? What's your review for the pomade?
I do like the pomade. It actually does leave a natural texture to your hair. It does hold very well, and like throughout the day, like I could just like mess up my hair if the wind messes up I could just reset it with my fingers and stuff. It actually it does bounce back, and yeah, it does really do a good job of holding your hair.
Have you used dry waxes before?
No, I've never used any dry waxes.
Wax before? Have you used any kind of creamy paste? Have you used any kind of other pastes before?
I have used other pastes. And the dry crunchy, that was Carm and I back in the day when you couldn't afford anything, you'd get that dollar store gel that was that neon viscous goop.
Yes.
That everybody was using, and your hair would be super reflective, and you'd comb your hair and you see the teeth, the comb texture of oh my God, that stuff was terrible. And then you'd sweat and you'd get like pink eye because it would just burn your eyes. That dollar store gel or whatever the hell that gel was back in the day, good Lord.
I'll tell you what though, combing your hair to get the perfect track lines from the teeth comb, it's like, what is that sand? They rake the sand to make that.
Yes.
Does that have a name? Do you know the name of that offhand?
The tool? No.
No, that design in the sand afterwards. Do you know what that's called?
No, I do not know what the pattern is off the top of my head.
But that's what it always reminds me of, man. That stuff is wild. That stuff is wild.
That cheap, and then it would be flaky, and is like, you had frosted flakes coming out of your head throughout the day. That stuff was so nasty.
That stuff was so good though. The water would bounce off. Like when you go to shampoo your hair, You'd be sitting there punching your hair to try to get through it because it was so strong. It was so
Yeah, that stuff, I don't know what the hell that stuff was made out of, but that stuff was, I don't know how the hell we put that crap on our hair.
Yeah, we did a lot of things, man.
But yeah, you're Mr. Elmer's glue, so you put.
I'm true.
You've done tons of Elmer's glue. I never did that.
That's why I like the gel, because it was softer. It was more gentle in comparison.
Yeah, I don't know how that stuff back in the 90s was terrible.
Oh, that was my mohawk. All right. So then the texture paste, the reason why I was asking about the dry wax is because it'll give you the hold like a dry wax, but it is creamier. It is the consistency of the texturizing paste is smoother than the stiffness of the dry wax. So again, it just goes to show that the Xenogen products in general, how awesome they are, because it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter which one of the products you use. Like even the densifying cream, for example, when I'm doing a lot of blowouts to make the hair nice and smooth, it never feels build up, sticky, or greasy in the hair, you know? Again, with the word grease.
It never does.
Like it never feels heavy on the hair. That's the biggest thing. Oh man. We got a couple of comments over here. So yeah, I missed these at the time. They like the way we say the cheese, the parm. And they believe that it's worse that I have an answer than they are crack ass questions.
You always have an answer.
And and we got this. Got to be John. It says Dom is doing better than I ever could. So that's definitely got to be John tuning in.
Oh boy,
he was excited when I told him it's going to be you today. I made him guess. And he's like, come on, would it be Dom? Like, tell me, is it really? I'm like, oh yeah. So he was super, super excited to see you. So that's awesome.
I'm always a treat on things. I've had since high school, I've always had people like, if you would just rent out an auditorium and just charge people $5 and you just rant for 90 minutes, you would sell out. So
dude, I love goofing off with you. It is, we get into some crazy conversational topics. Oh my God. One of my favorite things to do is to make up conspiracy theories just because.
Oh yeah, we do that all the time.
I love bouncing ideas off of you and having you help me develop just off the topic, off the wall.
Like the conscience of it. Eddie will call me up, ladies and gentlemen, and he'll be like, hey, hear me out on this. And he'll rattle off the craziest crap you've ever heard of. And of course, I have to sit there and seriously ponder it and be like, I'm like your Mr. Spock. I'll be like, does not compute, is not logical, or okay, that works. Like you're wrong, but it works in a way.
Yeah, right. But this is what we're doing now. This is
but it's like, okay,
now moving forward.
Like I could see how that could. I could see how that could gain a following. Like, okay.
I mean, look, man. Cults were developed on less than that, so at least I'm putting in real thought into this stuff.
Yes, you are.
It's all about that Zen moment, you know. It's all about just being one with thyself. But you have taught me a lot about being one with yourself.
Oh yes.
So what does it take? Like every week, John and I take a motivational quote in history, and then we break down that quote, you know, and we always talk about how to be. The idea behind it is the empowerment, how to empower yourself to be better, to stay positive, to stay motivated, right? But I don't think it's as easy as we make it out to be all the time, because the one aspect we don't talk about enough, because John and I just suck at it, is how do you get into that meditative state? How do you get into that Zen mode? And it's really hard for the two of us to do it. We try, And that's why we're so heavy on staying motivated and positive all the time, because it's very easy to go backwards real quick and to start getting negative, right? So share with us a little bit about what it is to be Zen, or what it is about being meditative. Is that the way to say it?
That is correct.
So yeah, share with us a little bit, because you're freaking awesome at it, and I'm always inspired by you.
Well, yeah, you guys are like very high strung, so I assume that it's going to be very difficult to wind down since you're always on the go. With me, it's been many years. I just would start looking up like yoga stuff at first, the movements
Yoda?
that would slow you down. What was it that there was that like
Wait,
Hawaiian lady
Yoda,
on Channel 20?
Like Star Wars Yoda, like Luke Skywalker's master?
Oh, I mean yoga. YOGA.
Oh,
like when I was a kid, what was it on like WYCC Channel 20 or something like that? They had like that Hawaiian lady who would do all the poses and stand on her head, and she was like the Bob Ross of yoga.
Okay.
So I'd see that at first. Of course, I couldn't contort myself that way, but just it'd be very kind of calming. And then, then you watch Star Wars and you see, like Qui-Gon Jinn, the Jedi would always, during that big famous battle scene with Darth Maul, and it's all the most intense things. And he did the most badass thing where he just closes his eyes and kneels and he just meditates. And as a kid, that was like, that's pretty cool. Is there some, and then you read up on it and you're like, oh, there is a thing to it. And you could, and I used to be at net at hockey as a goaltender. And that's like the most pressure position, because you make a mistake, the whole world knows about it. You hear about it in the back. You hear that. And when you would, like you said, with the hairdressers dancing, getting in their zone, when I would just calm down, and it's always, there's this one guy I talk with, he's a PhD and stuff like that. And he would always, he's very meditative and he'll do well with the gambling. Same thing with gambling and stuff. When I talk about when I get in the zone, when I do blackjack or throwing dice. And I remember he said a quote years ago that kind of stuck with me, of like, when I would ask him about, how do you, it's like you have like these, it's almost like you have these Jedi powers and stuff. Like, how do you do that? And it's just a lot of practice. And he goes, it's impossible until it's easy. And it seems like you can't do it. And you just have to keep working at it. Like starting with meditation, like I could just start having you sit in a corner even for just 30 seconds. And it's probably going to be difficult for you at first.
Nobody puts baby in the corner. You can't put baby in the corner.
It's just baby steps. Like, you're very high strung, so it's probably going to be really difficult at first, but eventually I'm sure you'll slowly get to it. I have a lot of meditative CDs, Hemisync it's called, where they do binaural beats. So like you hook up you have to use over the ear headphones, and like the left side is one certain beat and the right side is a certain frequency, and together they mesh, and that helps you relax a lot. You could also do it on your own, sit in a quiet, dark place and just focus on something, clear your thoughts. You have to do a lot of breathing. It at first you're thinking a lot, which kind of, you feel like it defeats the purpose, because you're supposed to be, but you have to kind of overthink the process when you're first beginning, until eventually, it becomes automatic, like breathing.
So then eventually, once you get into the rhythm, once you get into that routine, like what can you walk us through what that moment feels like? That moment of I guess calm, serenity, peace. Like what would you describe it as?
When you're in that zone, it's like time stops. Like there'll be times where I could just pause, have my circular calming breathe, like completely empty my head, or I'm completely like transcended in like my own, happy place. Like I'll always imagine my happy place like some weird like Tibetan monk temple out in like the rainforest of like you hear the birds, you hear the soft water. I'm in like Tibetan orange monks sitting cross-legged, like floating like Luke Skywalker was before he disappeared like a fart in the wind in that one bad Star Wars movie. But and you could stay in that and like clear your mind and just be so calm and relaxed, yet still awake. And like theoretically, I've heard like a lot of Tibetan monks could be like that for days at a time. I've never done, I mean, I'm not that great at it, but like sometimes I could just, let me meditate for 5 minutes and I relax and I get in that zone and I'm like, wow, that was a nice 5 minutes. And then I look and it's been 3 hours and
Whoops.
And I had like 15 calls from my mom. Like, where are you? I don't know why I made my mom. My mom does not sound like that. I don't know why I made her sound like Edith Bunker. That was. I don't know where that came from. It just seemed appropriate at the time. No, she does not sound like that.
No, she does not sound like.
Oh yeah, I made her sound like Edith Bunker. That was weird.
Now, next time when I see her, I'm gonna have to make her say Archie. Make her practice when you talk to her later. Make her practice saying Archie for me.
But it really does make sense. Everyone he told me, it's impossible until it's easy. You think it's hard and everything, and I know it's hard. I might not do it. And the thing about being Zen and stuff is it's perfect to be imperfect. Like a lot of good people will tell you, like it's okay when you first start and. After 30 seconds, stuff start popping in your mind about work and stuff. The real thing is to realize, my mind wandered. It's okay. Forgive yourself and go back to your happy place and breathe in, breathe out. I'm back in my Tibetan monk. And then try to last there for a minute or two or something. I usually tell people when they begin, like set a stopwatch for like a minute or two, something short, and just try. And most of the time, even within those 2 minutes, I was thinking about work. I was thinking about homework. And it's okay. Just you got to slow baby steps until eventually, you'll eventually relax enough and forget the world enough where you'll drift off and 5 minutes will theoretically be like 3-4 hours and stuff. Like it's impossible. And then one day it just clicks.
That's cool.
So I do a lot of that. And then we got we still have those lightsabers I got us. We still have to start battling.
So you could do you just want to do your
my
meditation moment.
I want to absorb because you're like you're the red blade. You're just gonna come at me and I'm just gonna absorb everything and just wear you down.
So does that mean I have to do the Darth Maul moment where he's pacing back and forth like a caged animal?
You definitely do seem like a Darth. I mean, I guess that Sith meditation was very. I mean, I don't know much about it.
Seething with impatience.
But I guess that is the thing because on YouTube I've seen videos of like Sith meditations and Jedi meditations, and then there's. And then there's those Qui-Gon meditations where it's unless they actually paid Liam Neeson himself, but there'll be a voice of Liam Neeson or that sounds like him guiding you through, which is hilarious.
That is hilarious.
So I don't know if it's really him, if he's cashing out on that. I mean, more power to him. Or if just somebody mimicking him, that's really good. But I listened to like a 5-minute one before. And it's pretty funny because you also hear his voice with the other movies he's done. So it's just like, meditate, or I will find you and I will kill you.
So that's the formula. You got to get yourself.
It's baby steps. It really is. Even if it's just 30 seconds, it's a win. And just do another set of 30 seconds. And then tomorrow, do 35 seconds. It doesn't matter how fast progress is progress. And you have to slowly keep building up to it. But yeah, when you get in that zone, like when I'd be at net in that zone and it'd be like sudden death overtime, and I would just be in such a zone where it's like time goes slower too. Like somebody will do a shot and it's like slow motion, and I'm just like, and a lot of my players would love when I would be in that zone because I would turn into Patrick Waugh. I would just be like, it's triple overtime. Don't worry about it, guys. They ain't going to score. And they would just look at, and then you just give off that aura where people were like, okay, he's good.
I tell you, it is calming. Like hanging out with
When I would be in that zone near you, would you feel that aura around me like, oh, Dom's got this?
No, but that really is the thing, because it's how that translates to my side of it. It actually is funny, but it is a good analogy. I am like a caged animal. I'm very impatient. I'm very wound up, and I'm very much go, go, go. We got to get this done. And when I'm on a project with you, it does take my edge off. Like people ask me if people have literally asked me if I'm okay because I seem very chill.
Because I'm in the same room setting up and I'm just building stuff and I'm just doing my thing, and
it's wild, man. It's wild. So no.
Well, I think at the beauty shows that we used to go to, or wouldn't I sit like in the center of the carpet and I'd be meditating, and like the whole convention center just comes to a standstill and everybody's looking at me, and you're just like, yeah, that's my brother-in-law.
Yep. But what's even funnier is people stop and look at you and watch you for 10,
I don't care. And you get in that zone where it's like you don't care whether they're amazed by me and they're stopping in a positive way or they're making fun of me. I don't care. I am in my zen.
Like other people to stop. Like now they're meditating in their own moment, pondering what you're meditating on.
It's a huge vibrational power that sometimes I get in a zone and I'll be at like, like I'm in a Vegas casino or something, and I get in that zone and all of a sudden I'm rolling the doubles the hard ways and stuff. And it does translate to things. Or when I'm doing my job and stuff, and there's a whole pile of stuff to do, and I just break it down at one letter at a time, one letter at a time, one letter at a time, one letter at a time.
That's cool as hell. Well, that's our hour, bro. That I told you it was going to go by quick.
Oh yeah, it does
go by really, really quick. So to recap, thank you all for watching on this April Fool's. Thanks for hanging out with us, a little bit of our silliness. If you liked what you saw with Dom and you want him to come back on and be a guest host, let us know in the comment section below.
Am I going to get a cult following now?
Yes, I'm going to start.
Oh my God.
I'm going to start one for you. In the meantime, go to hgbbeauty.com, sign up for our waiting list. If you need your credit, if you need your continuing education hours, the renewal year is this year. You have until September 30th to get your cosmetology license renewed in the state of Illinois. Thank you all for watching so much. We will catch you next week.
The SFTB podcast was not recorded in front of a live studio audience, so thanks for joining us for today's episode. If our hair topics made you smile, give us a thumbs up. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'll read them while waiting for our caller to process. Share this video with your stylists and friends. It helps us make a difference, one strand at a time. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Because your hair deserves all the latest and greatest tips.